Recording in progress.
Forward. Good morning. Are we okay to start the meeting? Are we recording?
Yes, Carol is on Zoom, so we're good to go.
Thank you. Okay. Good morning, everybody. This is the Planning and Construction Committee meeting, September 6th, 2022. First item, call the meeting, roll call.
Okay. Trustee Sperber.
Here.
Trustee Chaplin on Zoom.
Here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Trustee Carey.
Here.
And we have Trustee Rose is absent. We have Trustee Giannoli as an alternate today.
Right, thank you. First, item number 2, public comments. We have any public comments?
No public comment.
Right along. Next item, item 3.1, approval of minutes. Has anybody got a comment or want to say anything here or make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
We have first and second. Any other comments? Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passed unanimously. Moving right along. Item number 4 for information. We have no items. Let's go on to item number 5. We're just moving along. First item, we have Bryce. You're going to come up and announce the thing and tell us what you got, my friend. Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Bryce Juzik, RTA Project Manager for the Remote Economy Parking Lot Construction Project Phase 1. Here in the blue is the work area for Phase 1's Remote Economy Lot. You can see we'll be paving the alleyway and the area in between State Motor Pool and Enterprise Surface Lot. With Phase 1, we're paving approximately 68,000 square feet of pavement. We are conducting a land swap between the RTAA and Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And with Phase 1, we'll gain approximately 200 additional overflow spaces for this holiday season. And Phase 2 will encompass an additional 400 spaces in the spring of 23. Here's kind of the existing site. You can see is a former access road. The tower used to be here, or I'm sorry, the old radar tower used to be there. And so we are paving that and combining Enterprise's 2 surface lots. So we are turning Enterprise's lot into a giant 1 lot, which allows them to consolidate operations, which is an improvement for them. And in turn, we are getting the area east and north of their access or their maintenance facility. This provides us access off Aviation Way, which from the freeway off-ramp, about 70% of our traffic comes in. So we're able to capture that with more convenient, intuitive parking. We also are able to move our pedestrian crosswalk further away from the freeway off-ramp, which was a concern during our initial design. Having it so close up here would have been, a couple hundred feet closer to the off-ramp. Also, a big one is that we are removing any need for turn pockets off Terminal Way, which would have ate up a large portion of our budget without providing us any parking stalls. So another one is we get a more direct, intuitive route to the terminal building, and we're not having to go through the City of Reno permit process with Phase 1, which allows us to build this year, and having additional parking for this holiday season was a priority for us. The red area is Phase 1. Like I said, Phase 2 will be in the spring of 23, an additional 200 or 400 parking spots with that Phase 2. Bid process, we went out to bid August 4th, had a bid opening August 16th, advertised on RTA website, NGM and RGJ. We had 2 bidders, Sierra Nevada Construction and RMAC Excavating and Paving. RMAC was our low bidder. We did have a third bidder who just missed the timeline, and they were just under Sierra Nevada Construction, so we did have a little bit more interest in this. With that, the design fee is for both phases 1 and 2. Then the construction is just for phase 1. So we do have a total project budget of a little under 3.8 million, but that will be for construction of phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1, we're hoping to keep it under 1.6. We had one bid alternate, and that bid alternate was for a few things that rose in the blue lot that I didn't like the prices I got for the change orders, and was able to
Very nice.
compile those into a bid alternate for the remote economy lot and saved about $30,000 doing so. Project challenges, the big challenges for this was mainly design. We had a fast timeline for design. Now that we're out and in construction, I'm not too worried. Relatively simple project. There is some supply issues with the storm drain, but I believe the contractor's already tentatively placed his order to make sure that the supplier is aware that he's going to be, that few thousand feet of storm drain line here. And then, as always, starting this late into the year, cold weather can be an issue, but again, not really major concerns for me with this project. It should go relatively smooth, I believe. Project schedule, hopefully board approval September 8th, notice to proceed the week of September 12th. We have 45 days for construction with project completion towards the end of October, first part of November. We are seeking the committee's approval to the board for awarding the base bid and bid alt 1 with RMAC Excavating and Paving LLC and the price of $1,135,043 and authorize an owner's contingency of $75,000. Questions?
Thanks, my friend. Questions? Sean?
No questions.
Carol? All right, how
No
about?
questions.
Yeah, and again, I really like this project. I like what you're doing. It's fast. It's great that we don't have to go through all the city and this and that to be able to knock out a couple hundred very fast. It's very logical. It's great how you moved the rental cars and getting this thing. So great job. Great job, Darren.
100 parking places isn't bad.
Will be really nice. And the 600, the last 400 will probably be the summer of next year, finished, hopefully. And we still have to go through City of Reno for that phase.
I think we will, because we will be butting up against their right-of-way and
Okay.
making sure. I think the biggest comment they will have will be landscaping.
Landscaping.
And we're trying to work with them as at the same time not work within our requirements as well as far as wildlife mitigation.
Right, so you have those on there. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I also, want to thank Bryce, also want to thank Enterprise Rent-A-Car and Tina Iftiger and her team. We had a fair amount of negotiating with Enterprise to get the swap done with them, but ultimately this is, I think, an improvement for their operation to be able to more efficiently move their cars, and of course it's a big help to us. We were certainly overwhelmed last summer, and that was just 10% above where we are right now. So we know we're within striking distance of tipping over when it comes to parking anytime.
Yeah.
So this capacity is really needed and well timed. So thanks to Bryce and Enterprise Rent-A-Car and Tina and her team, a really great team effort here. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right. No more comments? Looks like my friend wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Get a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have first, second. Any other comments? All right, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Passed unanimous. Great job, my friend. Thank you. All right, moving right along. We are on item 5.2, and I know Amanda's dying to get going on a little ticketing here. And in fact, it should be looking at 5.2 and 5.3, right?
Yes,
You're going to do
correct.
the presentation for both, and then we'll vote separately. That's what,
Correct.
thank you.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Trustees, CEO Griffin, staff, and guests. Amanda Twitchell, Senior Project Manager for the Airport Authority. And as Chair Sperber said, I'm going to be presenting 2 items here and looking for 2 recommendations to the board. So the first is bid package 2, GMP, which is really to McCarthy, which is really the bulk of the construction cost and scope for the ticketing hall expansion. And then the second is the construction management services with Atkins. So just a quick background on kind of the key milestones that have already been approved on this project. RS&H began design in August of 2021, and McCarthy Building Companies, or MBC, was selected as our CMAR in October of 2021. 2 items that you approved back in July at the board meeting were the air handling procurement awarded to Mount Rose Heating and Air Conditioning, and then bid package number 1 awarded to McCarthy. And that really was the enabling projects and the roof. I blinked for a second there, sorry, the roofing scope.
Right.
So before all of that was awarded, just to kind of bring you back to our R&O master plan recommendations, and what came out of that in, I believe, in the end of 2018, were a couple deficiencies that this project was looking to address. Our signage, we had issues with the hierarchy and the clarity. We were lacking restrooms in the ticketing hall. We have overflow queuing. There's not enough space in the queuing for the airlines, and then that overflows into our circulation path, which then becomes an issue there. So the project description includes approximately a 9,500 square foot expansion to the west and renovation of the existing facilities. And the scope includes modification of the structural steel, elevator relocation, fire riser room relocation, upgraded utilities, roof replacement, new restrooms, and new finishes. And just a reminder, again, the air handling unit procurement and the roof replacement procurement and installation were all awarded under separate contracts, so that's not a part of this GMP here. So just to run through some of these updated renderings to show you how we've addressed some of those deficiencies and much more. So this is kind of your first view of the exterior. We start to see the new facade there. We've added a lot of glazing to really brighten up the space, make it brighter and more welcoming. We've added these portals, which is part of our intuitive wayfinding. Right now, you see people walk into windows thinking they're doors right now because it's not really clear where our doors are. So we really want to identify where those doors are. And of course, the elevator tower that's really kind of become this iconic element, hopefully for our airport, that will have a light beacon on it that we can potentially, change as, whatever event is happening. Moving to the inside, just wanted to address as a part of this that we did go through an extensive value engineering exercise, and we really tried to maintain things that we felt were important for the project, and then cut some things that we felt weren't as critical to the project. So I'll identify some of those. So obviously you can see this updated rendering here. At one point we were potentially looking at maintaining that tile in front of the counters, but everyone really felt it was important. So that is a part of this GMP that we're looking to award, is the replacement of all the tile in the ticketing hall there. Something that we cut actually is on this wall, there used to be a kind of a wood finish that it was nice, but we felt we could save some money and it would still look nice with a wall covering over there. So that's, an example of where we cut something that we didn't feel was critical. This is looking from the existing lobby right now. So kind of United is the closest there. Just an example, we're raising the ceilings, again, lighting, brighting, everything, to make it better sight lines and a better space. Walking down the future corridor here, you can see, again, we're exposing all of these elements. We're maintaining that, kind of adding, this is necessary for ADA, but we're making it a little artistic. And addressing, again, the wayfinding. So we have new signage that's going to be more clear, not so convoluted with design. It's just going to be very straightforward. And then our intuitive wayfinding with the floor, that's that river flowing through to the center there. This is the restrooms that we're going to be adding at the center block here. That's that wood finish. We are keeping it right there. So again, that intuitive wayfinding, so you can easily identify, that wood block is where you're going to go to the restrooms. Again, looking at all the additional glazing and light we're going to be adding in that corridor. And then this is just kind of a good view because actually standing right here is where currently our circulation path is. So just to give you an idea of kind of what we're adding to the right here is all existing. This is currently where the alcoves are and our existing wall runs along these columns. So this all becomes queuing now. This is our new circulation path, and then we're adding all the amenities out here. So the guaranteed maximum price process started in June of this year with McCarthy issuing invitations to bid, and those were all to pre-qualified bidders. On July 7th of 2022, NBC received the bids and they were opened in my presence. June 22nd, we received the initial GMP for us to review. And then between June 22nd and August 18th, we went through that rigorous value engineering and kind of scrubbing of the numbers just to make sure that we had an accurate cost there. So this is the summary of GMP2. And basically it comes in at $25,678,143. The two items of note, I want to make sure you see that there are two contingencies there, a CMAR contingency and an owner's contingency that we are maintaining for, those unknowns that we'll potentially encounter. Company background for McCarthy, they were founded in 1864. Presence in Nevada since 1973. In the highest they've been ranked is number 19 on the ANR Top 400 list. They're very familiar with these type of delivery projects, CMAR and alternate delivery methods. 80% of their projects consist of that. And they've done over $3 billion worth of projects at active airports. So on to the construction management. You've seen a lot of these as kind of our standard, Atkins. Basically, construction management services, it consists of inspections, material testing, quality assurance, contract administration, and regulatory compliance. It's really an industry standard. It's required for anything federally funded. This project isn't, but it's still something that is an industry standard for capital improvement projects. And it helps us kind of manage that ebb and flow of our projects and seasonal work and things like that. As you know, the fees are negotiated on a project basis. We work with them to figure out what's really needed for the scope. A contract is awarded at the beginning of the year for a small amount, and then as we move through the year, we award work orders to address the individual projects. And so as you can see here, the original amount was $49,000, and then we've this is the 6th amendment to this year's contract for $1,359,900 for a total of $2,062,700. So you can see this is the estimate at completion for the entire project for the ticketing hall expansion. The items above bid package 2 have already been awarded, and these are the true amounts. Bid package 2 is the construction scope that we're looking to recommend to the board. And then construction management is the services with Atkins. We have other direct costs for just under $500,000, and that includes the art allowance, permit fees, environmental things, stuff like that. For a total estimated completion of $32,745,883. On the right, you can see our funding source allocations. The majority of the project is being funded through the general funds. There's 6% that's being funded by CARES directly, and that's the roof and the air handling unit that were bid specifically. They're eligible for direct reimbursement through CARES. And then there's an 18% that's being funded by CARES and ARPA indirectly through, we're using the letter of credit and then getting reimbursed that way. So just a quick run through of the project here. Obviously design is done. We're actually starting tomorrow on our phase 0 work, which is that enabling work, creating the staging yards and getting everything ready for the project to start. And then kind of right after fall break, we're gonna start the meat of the construction there where you'll see the temporary walls go up. And then that'll end kind of end of January, beginning of February, and then we'll roll into some post work where essentially, beginning of February, temporary walls come down, the space is fully functional, and then there's just some minor work that's going to be happening around that. So the first recommendation to move to the board is bid package number 2. And it's hereby moved that the board authorize the president CEO to execute a construction contract for bid package number 2 of the ticketing hall expansion project at the Reno Tahoe International Airport with McCarthy Building Companies, Inc., accepting the base bid and alternate number 1 for the guaranteed maximum price of $25,678,143. Do you want me to stop there and then go? or-
Yeah, why don't you stop there? Does anybody have any questions? We're on that item 5.2 first, which is the actual construction. So, questions, comments, guys?
Amanda, what's the plan for the peak periods such as Thanksgiving and Christmas with the construction?
So we have been working a lot internally to figure out how to address this because, you know, yes, we have a lot of people going through that time and we're constricting the ticketing hall quite a bit. So there's a couple, the airport is going to be assisting. We're going to be having people down there helping, manage queues because that's part of it, right, is overflowing. We're also going to potentially be opening up additional entries so that we can get people through easier instead of just the 2 on the north and south. But we have been working, there's a lot of contingencies that, if something were to happen and things like that. So we're definitely working through that to make sure we have plans.
Questions?
No questions, exciting.
It really is exciting. All right, just a couple comments. I just want to say it's great. You can see, again, this is a CM at risk and why there's been a lot. I know Amanda's worked very well with both contractor and our architect on there, and it's great trying to make this work within these tough times of pricing and things. If you saw, we already approved the long lead items. Hopefully, we're on the air handler getting that thing going. I'm assuming, right, that thing and so we're doing that, and on the roof, what to do on there. So. And doing this phase 1 of getting it ready so they can start work the first day. The things you've done are great, my friends, and Darren, and Chris. It's a really nice job, guys, of getting this set up as well as we can. We're right in the middle of our airport where people come in on ticketing. Very important project. All right, with that, has anybody had a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'm happy to move for the approval of this item as presented by staff.
I'll second that.
All right, got a first and second. Any more comments? With no more comments, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you on item number 1. Let's go to 5.3, my friend.
All right, so the recommendation we're looking to move toward the board for CM services, it is hereby moved that the board authorize the president CEO to execute amendment number 6 for ticketing hall expansion to the professional services agreement for the 2022 annual construction management services for the airport capital improvement plan at Reno Tahoe International Airport with Atkins North America in the amount of $1,359,900 for a total of $2,062,700.
Questions?
Move to approve?
But a second. Have a first and second. Any more comments? Well, we're moving right along here. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Passed unanimous. Thank you so much. All
Chair
right.
Sperber,
Yes.
I just have one comment. I think it's easy for us to move through these because we had so much so many updates on this project, in the last
Yes.
year or so. So it just feels very comfortable, and I just want to thank the team there for keeping us informed and bringing us along that journey, so that it's when you're looking at $32 million, it's an easy, there's not any questions, right? Because
Right.
we've been exposed to this a lot. So thank you, Amanda.
Good. That's a great point, and on this project from the beginning, the outreach, the things that you've done. I've seen this project go better than any of them I've seen over the last 4 years of interface with your own staff and things like that, and bringing the board along. Great job, guys. So you would like to say something?
Mr. Chair, I just want to ask everybody to hang on to that sentiment because it is going to be a challenging construction project, to be sure, in a very difficult place to work. during peak periods and non-peak periods. The ticket hall is just about as challenging as it gets. So my thanks as well to Amanda and our operations team and McCarthy, RSNH. They are locked themselves in a room just about every day at this point, planning for the construction impacts and how to make it as painless as possible. But to be sure, there will be lots of pain with this, but it's the only way to improve, you know, and that's, every airport has to go through this. And this is potentially one of the most complex projects we will have when you look at the projects we're planning, that really says something, but it's just a difficult place to work. So they have a great plan, and we will get there. So thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. All right, let's go on to item 6.1. Chris, going to give an update on our schedules on everything here, not just this little project.
All right. Good morning, Chair Sperber, Trustee, CEO Griffin, and our guest this afternoon. Update you on a few highlights for our schedule. And again, another shout out to Amanda and that entire team with RSNH and McCarthy. But again, as CEO Griffin said, operations, PER, marketing, everybody's been coming together here at the end, looking at the phasing, looking how to plan this, and then looking at the contingency plans. Trustee Carey, I know what you brought up with the holidays, and it's going to be one of those things where we adjust to human nature. So we can do all the signage, all the cones and everything, and then we'll see how it plays out and adjust and work with that. And so it will be impactful, but your whole team is behind it, and the whole airport team. So it's been impressive to watch. And as CEO Griffin said, they have been locked in a room for, I'd say, the last 3 weeks, getting everything together, trying to think of every contingency there is. But as we watch that human nature, we'll adjust and go from there. So with that, for our upcoming schedules, most of our AIP programs, nothing new really there happening other than with the MAGVAR is about to start here in October through November and get that finished out. Bravo Mike is hold right now and changing that design and looking at the spring to come back with that in another bid through the AIP process. Instead, the Taxiway 3, phase 3 of that project has gone well. Bryce and Granite have done an excellent job out there. They got through phase 1, buttoned up, cleaned up, air races ready to go. So as soon as air races are over, come back out for part 2 of phase 3 and finish that up before the winter break. So that has gone really well through that first part. Wanted to update you here. You see blue lot is yellow with the change order, as Bryce discussed. Those are more punch list items we've found, so I'm holding out that closeout a bit longer so as we get through this and allow that to occur. The next one on here, Air Cargo Way Lift Station. So fund continues with the supply chain. Part of the pump system that we got to put in the ground is critical to really kick that off and make that happen. Was not going to arrive till late October. That put us paving late November. So we did not like that idea. It's just a dangerous game to play here in the Valley. I'm sure it'll be dry till December because we've decided to push this till spring.
Right.
That being said, it just made more sense because we would have ended up in a change order situation trying to temp patch a bunch of roadway that didn't make sense. So worked with the contractor, we're pushing this till the spring so we make sure we got everything when we go to tear that up and replace that. Next, down into our CIP program, the one thing I wanted to highlight that we hadn't had in there, and I know there's been a lot of discussion on, shared use or common use. Those seem to intermingle a lot in conversation. So with that, last month, this is a shared project between IT and engineering. There's a lot of components with Art and his team in IT that getting that network equipment, getting all the displays, the printers and all that. We're sharing this portion of work where they're running with that. And then our team in engineering is working on the gate counters, the mill work, and everything that has to occur with electrical and data. So there's a marriage there between the two of us. So I wanted to get this on the schedule and so that you can see, you'll see different board updates throughout it as IT purchase stuff or as we move forward with it on the engineering side. But I wanted to highlight that for you and start tracking that on here. Next, also we had the terminal development concourse study and just showing that I know you're going to be getting an update here at the board meeting on Thursday. And then what the intent is most likely in October that there would be probably a board action with a preferred alternative in showing through December. Next actually is when we get to development, I really wanted to highlight, it looks like Stellar is intending to start here in October 1st with efforts on their apron. So really exciting. We've been meeting with the United Construction team and Stellar on that. There's a couple things they got to get finished up with FAA, but it's looking very positive, and their intent is to start in October and potentially in 8 weeks have an apron. So really interested to see this happen in 8 weeks, but it sounds really good with United and their team and how they plan to attack it. But I wanted to bring that to light that AED's working with Stellar and engineering, and we're trying to get them out of the gate and running. So very exciting with that. Those are the biggest changes we've had in the last month with any projects. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, just moving along, thank you. You might as well hang around. The next item we have is item number 7, which is our updates, our whole list, whether anybody wants to talk about any specific project, bring up anything. Sounds great. Well, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go on to item number 8, member comments, questions, requests, put anything on the agenda. What do you got, guys? Man. Carol?
Nothing for me. No, thank you.
Life is good, guys. All right, we're moving right along here. Public comments. Do we have public comment?
No public comment.
All right, with that, we're good. Item number 10, adjournment. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Nice, clean meeting.
Well done, Mr. Chair.
So well.
Recording stopped.